Hari Om. Starting from verse 20, let us chant the last 10 verses of chapter 5. न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजेत् प्राप्य चाप्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः बाह्यस्पर्शेष्वसक्तात्मा विन्दत्यात्मनि यत्सुखम् स ब्रह्मयोगयुक्तात्मा सुखमक्षयमश्नुते ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगाः दुःखयोनय ते आद्यन्तवन्तः कौन्तेय न तेषु रमते बुधः शक्नोति हैव ह्यः सोढुम् प्राक्शरीरविमोक्षणात् कामक्रोधोद्भवं वेगं स युक्तः स सुखी नरः योऽन्तः सुखोऽन्तरारामः तथान्तर्ज्योतिरेव यः स योगी ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् ब्रह्मभूतोऽधिगच्छति लभन्ते ब्रह्मनिर्वाणम् ऋषयः क्षीणकल्मषाः छिन्नद्वैधायतात्मानः सर्वभूतहिते रताः कामक्रोधवियुक्तानां यतीनां यतचेतसाम् अभितो ब्रह्मनिर्वाणं वर्तते विदितात्मनाम् स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्बाह्यां चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रुवोः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ यथेन्द्रियमनोबुद्धिः मुनेर्मोक्षपरायणः विगतेच्छाभयक्रोधः यः सदा मुक्त एव सः भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरम् सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति।
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Verse number 22.
ये हि संस्पर्शजा भोगाः दुःखयोनय एव ते आद्यन्तवन्तः kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayo nayayevate adhyantavantha kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha.
For the enjoyments that are born of contacts are only wombs of sorrow. They have a beginning and an end. O Kaunteya, the wise one does not rejoice in them. For the enjoyments that are born of contacts are only wombs of sorrow. They have a beginning and an end. O Kaunteya, the wise one does not rejoice in them. Here is a simple law. Here is a simple law. The simple law is sense organs comes in contact with the sense objects. The natural tendency of the sense organs is to come in contact with the sense object. And when the sense organ comes in contact with the respective sense object, there is a pleasure, there is a happiness, what he calls as bhogaha. There is an enjoyment, there is a bhoga. When there is a nice sight, there is a pleasure. When there is a nice food, there is a pleasure. When you meet the person that you want to meet, there is a pleasure. When you read something and understand something, there is a pleasure. So respective instruments contact their respective objects of desire and find bhoga. It's a very straightforward, simple law of life. What happens here is the moment there is the contact, sparshaja bhogaha. Sparsha means contact. The English word contact makes it looks like an intimate connection. No. The Sanskrit word sparsha says just the sight of the sense. That's a Sanskrit word sparsha. And it is difficult to translate it in English, the word sparsha. And most of us are familiar with the word sparsha. Most of us are familiar with the word sparsha. Just the passing contact itself is enough. Like in the movies, they say they'll show in the movie, no? The boy will be standing and the girl will cross. In the passing breeze, just the dupatta will touch the face man and go. That's all. They are not nothing. They are not hugging, nothing. That is sparsha. Just the passing breeze, the dupatta grazing the face and going. Itself, the man goes into ecstasy. Yeah, moksha he gets. Liberation he gets. This is called sparsha. Samsparsha bhogaha. What you don't understand, Arjuna, is dukkha yonaya, wombs of sorrow. Don't understand that it is wombs of sorrow. Wombs of sorrow, in the sense, dukkha trayam. Trayam means three. Every aspect of it is dukkha, he says. Every aspect of it is dukkha, but that initial bhoga, The initial pleasure makes the person not see the dukkha. The initial pleasure makes the person not see the dukkha. Adi anta vantaha. Adyanta vantaha. They have a beginning and an end. That we will come to later. Adyanta vantaha. O Kaunteya, Arjuna, the wise one does not rejoice in them. The wise one does not rejoice in them. The senses are called indriyas. The objects are called vishayaha. Vishayaha means objects, situations, beings, all put together is called vishayaha. So, yehi samsparshaja. Yehi means, what is that yehi here refers to? Indriya Vishaya Samsparshaja Bhogaha. You have to say that. For the enjoyments that are born of contacts are only wombs of sorrow. He is not saying sense objects and he is not saying the senses and the sense objects. He is not saying that. Look at the verse. Yehi. Yehi means those. So you have to fill in what are those. What he means by those contacts. What contacts? All human pleasures that all pleasures that a human being knows is born out of the contact between Indriya and Vishaya. The respective organ must come in contact with the respective sense object. Not only the senses, it is to the mind and the intellect. All put together is called Vishaya. That's why we said Vishaya means the senses, sorry, the objects, the beings, the situations, all put together is Vishaya. Now, what is he saying? The world is capable of giving samsparshaja bhogaha. What is the world? The world can give you only samsparshaja bhogaha. World can give you only that. So, all enjoyments that are born in this world, that you get in this world, are the contacts between the objects and the organ. Objects cannot give pleasure. The mere presence of the objects cannot give pleasure. The mere presence of the instrument cannot give pleasure. Only when they come in contact, there is pleasure. Are you okay till now? And if you have to contact it, what you need to do? If you have to contact, what you need to do? Huh? What is it that you need to do if you have to contact an object? Anybody? Summa type pannunga. What you need to do if you have to? The presence itself doesn't give object, joy, bhogaha. It has to come in contact. And if it has to come in contact, you need to acquire it. Just the presence is not going to give joy. You have to acquire it. You have to own it. You have to possess it. So the starting point of enjoyment is possessing it, owning it. a good car going on the road, what is the joy for me? In fact, it is dukkha for me. Seeing a good car going on the road is a dukkha for me. Yeah. Not really, yeah. I don't have dukkha, I'm just saying. I'm saying dukkha. It's not dukkha. So, the presence of the car on the road itself is not happiness for me. Happiness comes when? Only I need to contact it to get happiness. And if I have to contact it to get happiness, I need to acquire it, possess it, and exclusively own it. Exclusive ownership or no. Then only there is, yeah, okay, sir, okay, you use the half an hour you use the car, half an hour I will use the car, half an hour Kolathur Shankar will use the car. Na, where is the joy? Yaar eppo saavi eduthu povaanganne theriyaduna, where is the, yeah, where is the joy? You have to acquire it, you have to possess it, and you have to exclusively own it. After that exclusive ownership, the contact gives pleasure. Are you okay till now? Yeah. Sir, idella we know, sir, because we are doing it all the time. We are all masters in that. Yeah. We know all this. Acquisition has three pains. Trayam, I said. All acquisition has three pains. We have seen it in some other context. Acquiring, and each and everything goes in the increasing order of pain. What is it? The pain of acquisition, the pain of preserving what you have acquired, and the pain of losing it. Each pain is more intense than the previous one. Should understand that. Wise understands that, he says. Wise understanding this, he doesn't have a problem. The wise understands. What does he understand? Each and everything goes in the increasing order of pain. Threefold pain. Dukkha trayam, he says. Threefold pain. What is the threefold pain? The pain of acquisition. Dukkha it is, painful it is. Preserving that is far more painful than the pain of acquisition. Yeah. As long as you don't acquire, no one will even bother about you. The moment you have started to acquire, suddenly you will come to know how many relatives you have, how many friends you have, how many people are longing to. Previously, you make a call, nobody will even attend your call. Now people are longing to associate with you and all that. For what? For what you have acquired, and you have to preserve that from them. Second dukkha. The preservation pain is more dukkha than the pain of acquisition. Parting with it is maximum pain. And yet, if you don't acquire, preserve, own, and contact, then only happiness, joy comes. Are you okay now? For that joy that you are going to get, you have to go through so much of dukkha, and they will say, it's worth the pain, sir. They say, no, it's worth the pain. It's worth going through that pain. Are you okay till now? Second point. Even when you are contacting, there is no such thing called pure pleasure. Dukkha yonaya. There is no such thing called pure pleasure. There is no such thing called pure happiness. It is mixed with pain. It is mishram. Mishram means the Sanskrit word. There are no formulas. It is mishra. Mishram means mixed. It's mixture. It is mixed. It's a mixture. It is a mixed mixture of what? In the pleasure, there is a pain, because every pleasure is like a coin. It has two sides. All pleasures is a coin. It has two sides. What are the two sides? Pleasure has got the reverse, dukkha. Dukkha yonaya. But you see only the pleasure side of the coin, and you do not even recognize that there is the reverse side. That is why you need buddhi, the intellect, to penetrate and see that there is dukkha. The wise one who has recognized the dukkha, the wise one who has understood and recognized the dukkha has no problems. Third, that which gives bhoga to you will not give bhoga to another. That which gives bhoga to you will not give bhoga to another. 3. Number 4. That which gives bhoga to you at one point of time stops giving bhoga to you at another point of time. Without a pessimistica, nobody can talk about the world more pessimistic than this, sir. What 5 more minutes we talk, we feel like committing suicide is the only solution. That which gives bhoga to you doesn't give bhoga to another. Okay. That's why if there is a family of 10 people, there is a family of 10 people, if there is a family of 15 people, for a very long time, personally, we can't even say the word joint family now. I don't know what family it is. We are about 12 of us living in the same house. Like a joint family na husband wife joint family. If husband and wife are living together, it's called joint family. Children oda சேர்ந்திருந்தா extended joint family. Parents எல்லாம் கூட இருந்தாங்கன்னா orphanage, old age home it is called. Yeah. How do you, so we don't know what to call that. So 12 of us, my father and my uncle. So the cousins, all of us. 5 of us, the kids, 5 of us, the kids 3 and the 2, and then the 4 elders, and then my grandmother, and then the 2 people who have taken, who my father gave asylum in the house. Every meal will be dukkha. No, why? Because somebody or other doesn't like. Every meal will be dukkha only because somebody or the other will not like what is made. I will like one thing, my cousin will not like it. My cousin will like one thing, I will not like it. So, but then all eating, what is the dukkha? What gives bhoga to one gives dukkha to another. Also, what gave bhoga to me in the past doesn't give bhoga now. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha Dukkayonaya evate. This Sparsha Arjuna is so fleeting, is so passing, is so tempting, you fall for it. So fleeting, it's so passing, you fall for it. If you understand all this, now he gives all this analysis. And then he gives the reason. What is the reason? This is the beautiful, extraordinary reasoning which we don't see at all. Adyantavantaha. The reason. What is the reason for all this? The reason is all experiences has a beginning and an end. All experiences has a beginning and an end. It has a adi, it has an end. Adi antavantaha. It's a universal law. It's not only sense contacts has a beginning and an end. All experiences, anything in relation to the world, anything that is part of the world has got a beginning and an end. Whether it is relationship with another human being, whether it is possessing a particular object, even this body, what you call as you, my body, even this body has a beginning and an end. The wise one having understood this law. Adyantavantaha kaunteya. Underline பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. If an object gives pleasure by its arrival, the object will give pain by its departure. அவ்வளவுதான். It's a law. Adyantavantaha. That is why the wise one is very careful about the pleasure. Again, I repeat. If an object or being gives pleasure at their arrival, they will give pain at the departure. Are you okay? And the world is full of arrivals and departures. The world is full of arrivals and departures. Gatasuna gatasnuscha nanushocanti panditaha. Ashochanan vashochastvam prajnavadanscha bhashase. Gatasuna gatasnuscha nanushocanti panditaha. For this world is full of, world means what? World nale unnudan. What is it? Arrivals and departures. Yeah, airport madri. You stand there, flight will arrive, huge commotion for 10 minutes. After that, nothing happens. And then the arrival, the departure, the arrival, the departure is life. The basic truth is what? The basic truth is what? An object that gives you pleasure at the arrival is bound to give you pain at the departure. Shakespeare, exits and entrances. Shakespeare, we have seen that also. Exits and entrances. From this, what is the law that he is trying to say? What is it that he is trying to say? What is the law? What is it that he wants us to understand rightly? Not the pessimistic way. That's not what he is intending. What is he trying to tell us? It is the world of objects are a mixture of pleasure and pain. If you can arrive at this conclusion, you are understanding the philosophy rightly. The conclusion that he wants us to arrive is, it is a mixture of pleasure and pain. Adyantavantaha Kaunteya. From this law, you are taught how to live life. From this law, you are taught how to live life. Now, how do you live life? World is a mixture of pleasure and pain. World is a mixture of pleasure and pain. Sir, what is the what is it that is, how are we, what is it that is taught how to live life from this? If the objects are a mixture of pleasure and pain, what are the options I got? Adu buddhi. The buddhi starts functioning. First, the buddhi understands the law. What is the law? It is a mixture of pleasure and pain. What are the options? What can I do? When I decide to possess an object, carefully follow. When I decide to possess an object, when I decide to possess a being, I will get pleasure from that object. But since every object is mixed with pain, I should have the mental strength to face the pain of departure. So when I am possessing, I develop the mental strength to face the pain of departure. Here comes the problem. No human being mentally prepared to face the pain of departure. Since I am not faced, life gives pain. People say life gives pain. Life gives pain. Vedanta comes and says, life is not giving pain. You didn't prepare yourself well. Yeah. Helmet podama poi cricket aadna mandela adipodum. Yeah. Oh, cricket is giving pain. Cricket is not giving pain. You not wearing the helmet is the cause of pain. What is it? Again, I repeat. Carefully follow. One of the very beautiful verse. Adyantavantha kaunte dukkha yonayala. And we keep repeating this verse very often. Very often these verses are repeated. So, what is Krishna wanting us to understand? World is experience is a mixture of pleasure and pain. There is no pleasurable experience and painful experience. In the pleasure, there is a pain. In the pain, there is pleasure. That's what you have to understand first. Don't divide it into two opposite experiences. In the pleasurable experiences, there is pain. This is where you need to strengthen your, you need to have a strong intellect to digest this, to understand this. Otherwise, ordinarily, we misunderstand. Pleasurable experiences are different. Painful experiences are different. We have already established that it is two sides to the, We have already established that it is two sides to the same coin. Having already established that it is two sides to the same coin, what do you understand now? All experiences is a mixture. Mishram. In Sanskrit, it's called Mishram. Mishram means mixture. Chennai mixture nu vikrangalla kadayilla. Yeah. If you go to the shops, they say they sell something called Chennai mixture. Adu inna Chennai mixture. Nalla irukum, very tasty. Because it's the old stuff. Parts ellam pottu mix adichi. They give something which is very, very tasty. Chennai mixture. Life is like the Chennai mixture. It is a mishram. Everything in it. What is everything means? Pain and pleasure. Having explained that life is mishram, experiences are mishram, mixture of pleasure and pain. What are the, how to handle life now? This law teaches you how to handle life. This law teaches you how to handle the experiences of life. Now, how do you handle life now? How do you handle the experiences now? I'm repeating. I said it already. I'm repeating again. What are the options? What can I do? You cannot live life without possessing. You cannot live life without possessing. Since you cannot live life without possessing, you have to possess. You cannot live life without possessions. You need possessions. As long as you have desires. The wise one knows differently. I'll come to that later. The wise one does it differently. That I will come to later. Now I am talking about how can for individuals like us, how do we handle it? How does the wise one handle it? We'll see that separate. Yeah. First, see, I talk at our level and go to Shankaracharya's level. In the classrooms, if I ask a question, everybody will answer from Shankaracharya level and stay there only and don't come down at all. That's why when I talk, sir, idella engal theriyum sir already. No, these are all very, we know this already. But what to do? Known to the unknown. Go from here to there. So what is it? You can't be without possessions. So what is it that you have to understand? Here we get entrapped. The trap is here. What is the trap? You have to possess the object. When you possess the object, certainly you will get pleasure out of it. When you possess, when you acquire, when you possess, certainly there is pleasure out of it. What is the problem now? Since everything is mixed, are you able to connect? Since everything is mixed with pain, as I am equipping myself to experience the pleasure of the object, I should also equip myself to face the pain aspect that follows the pleasure. The pain aspect that follows the pleasure. Unfortunately, what happens? The mind is not prepared. Mind is not prepared. No human being is prepared. That's why life gives so much of dukkha. Vedanta says life doesn't give dukkha. It is mishram by law. It is mishram by nature. You not preparing well is the cause for the pain. World is not the cause for the pain. Are you okay? Ramatirtha puts it very beautifully. He says, you are prepared for the rose and not for the thorn. You are prepared for the rose. You are prepared for the rose and not for the thorn. From the distance you see the rose, and when you pluck it, the thorn pierces you. When you are prepared for the rose, you are not prepared for the thorn. And all the human fallacies in thinking, carefully follow. All the human fallacy in thinking is what? Somehow the thorns can be removed and the rose alone can be kept. The fallacy of human thinking. This thinking is dukkha yonaya. This belief, this conviction, this thinking that somehow the thorns can be avoided forever, removed forever, and roses alone can be kept. Has to wait, sir. Little bit you wait. With little bit more technology, with little bit more advancement. Yeah. இன்னொரு 2 ஷேர் மார்க்கெட் ஃபார்முலா புதுசா கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டோம்னா, Shankar, he was telling me, இன்னும் 2 ஃபார்முலா சார். And if we find the 2 formula, we will not, everybody will make profit. I said, how is it possible? 99 fellows have to make losses, then only 1 fellow will make profit. And that fellow who's making profit will make loss at another period of time. Life squares you up. When you leave, life squares you up and it will give you a beautiful send-off. It will give you a beautiful send-off, squaring it up. Yeah. Are you able to follow? Therefore, the pleasure is with the. So when you are ready to enjoy the pleasure, you should be ready to enjoy the. When you are welcoming the arrival, you should be ready for departure. From childhood, I used to be so thrilled looking at the board. Every time you go to the village, there is a board. This side it will say welcome. That side it will say thank you for coming. Yeah, ஒரே board தான். Yeah. This side of the board says, you used to stand there, look at both sides. Wait, I will come. This side I will come and see. That side I will go and see. Have you ever seen that? Does anybody remember seeing that? Does anybody remember seeing that? Yeah. This side of the board will say welcome. Thank you for. Oh, this side of the board will say welcome. The other side of the board says thank you for visiting. When you are preparing to acquire, mentally be prepared to lose it. Then there is no pain. This is one option. Not understanding this law fully, people go to the other option. What is the other option? Anyway, every object has pain in it. Anyway, you have pain in it. Might as well renounce it. Why even acquire? அதுலயும் ஒரு problem இருக்கு. What is the problem in that? What is the problem in that? When you give up, you feel the problem of emptiness. You face the problem of emptiness. And the pain of emptiness is more excruciating than. At least there you will say, Pona kuda, I have good memories, sir. I have good memories and I will live with the good memories. Are you able to follow the other thing? Okay, full of dukkha and all that. Simply forego. Simply let go. Can you let go like that? There is a problem in letting go. What is the problem in letting go? The problem in letting go is I face the problem of. What is the problem? If you don't have it, what is the problem you face? Nowadays, they use a beautiful word for that, no? Missing. You miss it. I miss. Bharat is tied to the house, tied and chained to the house. Missing the office. Correct, Bharat? Missing the office. I miss that. I, 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 I miss being, I miss the action of being in the, I miss the action of being there. You miss it. When it is there, it is painful. When it is not there, you miss it. Are you okay? When it is there, yeah. When it is there, it is painful. I want to run away from that. When it is not there, I want to go back to it. Therefore, if I give up the object, I have to face the emptiness of it. If I possess the object, I have to face the. This is how Vedanta teaches you how to live life, we say, no? This is how it teaches you how to live life. The law of life, the technique of life. What is the law of life? The technique of life. If you possess the object, if you choose to possess the object, you need to be prepared to face the pain. For every arrival has a departure, and if the arrival gives pain, if the arrival gives pleasure, the departure will give pain. Either way looks like either way it looks like we are in trouble. When there is work, there is trouble. When there is no work also, there is trouble. Yeah. When there is work, there is trouble. What is the trouble? The trouble of the trouble of fatigue, tiring, irritation, stress, strain, people not cooperating. All that problem is there when there is work. When there is no work, Venkat, mudilla. Yeah, that's what he's saying. When there is no work, he's saying mudilla. Yeah. When there is work, the pain of stress and strain. When there is no work, the pain of missing and boredom. This is called samsara. The samsara. Are you able to follow? This is called samsara. What is samsara? Whether it is there or not there, dukkha yonaya. Yegi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkha yonaya evate. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Nateshu ramate buddha. That I am going to discuss. I will come to that. How does the wise one handle all this? If I let go, emptiness is the problem. That's why people can't let go. Renunciation is so difficult. Renunciation is so painful because you let go. There is a vacuum, that emptiness, and that emptiness is more painful than. That is why they say, sir, adukku andha kashtathukku indha kashtam paravalla, sir. Yeah. Between the two sorrows, we choose. Yeah, between the two sorrows, we choose one. I should either I possess and suffer the problem of possession and losing, or I dispossess and suffer the pangs of emptiness. Which will I choose? Which will I choose? Which will I choose? You can't choose both. The wise one made a different choice. The wise one made a different choice. If you understand all this, then you will understand the wise one's choices are why we call them wise, you will understand then only. Why they are called wise and why we are called ignorant. Why Krishna calls us as Pramudaha, Vimudatma and all that, and why he calls them as Buddha, the wise one. What is it? First thing is possessiveness. You want something to call as yours and you want somebody to claim you as theirs. Again, I repeat. Somebody should say, you are mine. And you should tell somebody that you are mine. You want to possess and be possessed. It's not difficult to understand, but how the mind can be so crazy. You want to possess and you want to be possessed. You want to be possessed, not like ghost coming and possessing. Not that kind of a possession. You want to be possessed. What? You want to say, I want to claim something as mine, and I want somebody to claim me as theirs. This is called loneliness. This is called loneliness. And loneliness destabilizes you at the core. Loneliness destabilizes you at the core. That is where people have pets. Why? Because they don't feel. Why they have pets? When you come back home, nobody is welcoming you. Yeah. At least the dog is jumping on you, licking you, hugging you, welcoming you. You feel a satisfaction. What is the satisfaction? That somebody is missing your presence. That gives such a big satisfaction. It's such a big kick it gives. Supposing I say no Sunday class next week. There is a Venkat. It's not cancelled. There is. Supposing I say no Sunday Gita class next week, and all of you say thank you, sir. Abdina, how hurtful I'll get. Supposing if one person says, supposing if one person says, nobody is going to say that, but I'm just saying. Supposing that Asha ji says, oh, you sir, there will not be a class, is it? I'll be missing it. In the entire 1 hour class, I'll be looking at her and talking. I will not even look at the others. Are you able to see? Are you able to follow? You want to possess and you want to be possessed also. Are you okay till now? See, ithoda irundha, it's all right. Simultaneously, you want freedom from these two also. You want this, at the same time you want freedom from this also. See, if you don't want freedom from this possessor possessed, there is you will be happy with it. But then the problem is what? You want to be possessor possessed, at the same time you want freedom from this also. That's where in the book Fall of Human Intellect, he says, nobody knows what they want. Everybody seems to be very clear at one level, thinking that they know what they want, and yet the truth is nobody knows what they want. Vedanta comes up with the solution. What is the solution that Vedanta comes up with? The solution that Vedanta comes up with, and if I give the solution, you will lucky Zoom you can't throw sticks at me. Yeah. What is the solution? If I'm in the real now, you would have built up 45 minutes, you gave such a built up and all that, and then idha Vedanta solution. Yeah. All of you will turn the face from the camera and look somewhere else. What is the solution? What is the solution that Vedanta comes up with? Recognize your Purnatvam and associate with the world. Recognize your Purnatvam and associate with the world. The wise one has done that. The wise one has done that. Having done this, pleasure or pain, honor or dishonor, profit or loss makes no difference. Gather sufficient strength, and that sufficient strength comes only through the remedy. How to discover that Purnatvam? How to discover the Purnatvam? How does this knowledge of Purnatvam is the solution? That also has to be explained, no? That also has to be explained. How to discover the Purnatvam if you decide to possess the world? How to discover the Purnatvam if you decide to give up everything of the world? How to discover that inner strength? Whether you want to possess or you want to give up and run away, both is not the solution. The solution is the self-knowledge. Bodhonya sadhane byogi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vakhnivad jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. There is no other method except the self-knowledge. Self-knowledge will do two things to you. What are the two things that it will do to you? What are the two things that the self-knowledge do to you? It knows how to welcome the arrival, and it knows how to say goodbye to the departure. This knowledge cannot stop the arrival or departure. That is why we say Vedanta doesn't change the situation. If you remember, previous class we said Vedanta doesn't change the situation. What is the situation? Arrival and departure is the situation. That cannot be changed. But what do you change? That's why we say Vedanta will not change the world. World will remain as it is. But You know how to deal with it. What is it? You know how to welcome the arrival, and you know how to gracefully say no to the departure. Dasharatha was miserable not having a son. Dasharatha was miserable not having a son. And the son came. And what is the name of that son? Rama. Yeah, Rama nale Ramati. Yeah. He brings joy. Rama nale Rama. He brings, yeah, just the name Rama, he says. Just the name Rama is enough. And what caused the death of Dasharatha? The same Rama that brought in extreme pleasure, the departure of that same Rama caused dukkha. So a wise person is one of what? What is the wise person now? The wise one does not rejoice in them. This is the clue. The wise one does not rejoice in them. Rejoice means ramate. It doesn't rejoice. What does rejoice means? The arrival makes you lose your equanimity. The departure makes you lose your equanimity. This is called rejoicing. Not rejoicing means the arrival or departure, the equanimity is not lost. And beautiful example that he gives to maintain the equanimity is Swamiji's example. Beautiful example it is. Hotel room attitude. In your house, hotel room attitude. What does hotel room attitude means? Another way of looking at it. Trusteeship attitude, ownership attitude. Trusteeship attitude, ownership attitude. Yeah. See, duties and responsibilities is the same for the trustee and the owner. Duties are the same. Responsibilities are the same. Why do we call one person an owner and another person a trustee? What is the difference? Action wise, duties and responsibilities are same. What is the difference? One person can say this is mine. Another person says I am here only to do my duty, obligation. I am not the owner. This is the knowledge. This is the knowledge that makes you understand dukkha yonaya. What is the knowledge? The solution. That's why I said when I'm giving the solution, you will be when I give the solution, you will get very angry at me, I said. The ownership, the hotel room attitude. Trusteeship versus ownership. The third, acquisition because of it's called vyavahara purpose. You acquire because for transactional purposes you acquire. Mentally you are not dependent on that. You acquire because of transactional purposes. Vyavahara purposes you acquire. At one level, the legs, I walk to school. At another level, I had a bicycle, bus pass, and then a a bicycle, and then a motorcycle. Now the car. One day if I own my own private jet, chinna flight it's okay. I don't want I don't want this huge jumbos. Just even that 8-seater is, even the 8-seater is okay. A wise one acquires for vyavahara purposes, but not dependent on that. For vyavahara purposes is needed. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Just as the man takes up garments, when he takes up garments, he takes up garments for a temporary time. The garment is for a temporary time, and once the worn out period happens, just discard it. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya. You let go of it. Date of manufacture comes with the date of expiry. Manufacturing date implies there is a expiry date. What is the solution? Go beyond manufacturing date, and then there is no expiry date. What is that? That is called the state of moksha, liberation. The wise one has done that. The wise one has done that. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha. They have a beginning and an end. It doesn't stop with acquisition. Another problem. What is the other problem? Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. You want, the moment you get a joy from one, the mind pitches up other desires. The mind pitches up other desires. Desiring acquisition implies an unfulfillment. An unfulfillment born of ignorance, and knowledge removes the imaginary unfulfillment, is the solution to the problems. That's all. Desires, acquisition, preservation, enjoyment, arrival, departure, all this is because of the fundamental problem. What is the fundamental problem? The fundamental problem of a void, an unfulfillment, a lacuna, an emptiness. And that emptiness drives you to acquire, and that acquisition makes you to, and that acquisition will drive you to acquire more. More you acquire, more the possessions, more you have, more the maintenance, more the possessions, more the maintenance. More the maintenance, no time for, more the maintenance, no time for any meaningful activity at all in life. The wise one reduces the possessions so that they can do some meaningful karma. They can do some meaningful karma. After having acquired the possessions, time goes in Time goes away in simply maintaining those possessions. Yeah. The car வாங்குறத விட maintenance of that car is a bigger issue. Okay, you maintain and maintain and maintain, it is diminishing. Yeah. You maintain and maintain and maintain, it is diminishing. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Dukkhayonayaha in one word is neutralization. Dukkhayonayaha in one word is neutralization. You will get neutralized. Contact is dukkhayonayaha. What is the corollary from this you derive? Abstinence is joy. Sannyasa is joy. That's the derivation. That's where he says abstinence is joy. In contact, the joy is lost. In contact, the joy is lost. So the wise one knows how to derive the joy. The wise one knows how to derive the joy without the contact. How did they do that? They who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from the weed, pineapple and the bee. Remember the poem Pineapple and the Bee. They who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from. How can you gather honey from a weed? You can gather honey from the flower. You can't gather honey from the weed. But they who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from the weed. One with hopeless wish looks and lingers, while another breaks the glass and cuts his fingers. Yeah. Beautiful is that also. One with hopeless wish looks and lingers. Passive fellow will look lingering. Nalargum. With hopeless wish, one looks and lingers. Cerebral. Another fellow says, the aggressive fellow says, something I will do to breaks the glass and cuts his fingers. But means opposite of these two. They who truth and wisdom lead can gather honey from the weed. Here he says, the wise one has done that. So, to summarize, to summarize what? The two stigmas attached to என்ன டைம் முடிய போறது இல்ல 9 மணி ஆக போகுது அதனால சம்மரைஸ் பண்ணி முடிச்சிடலாம் another 1 hour I will give four more thing yeah so since the 9 o'clock we will summarize and finalize the two stigmas. What are the two stigmas? Their fleeting nature and diminishing value. Ehi samsparshaja bhogaha adyantavanta kaunteya. Adyantavantaha is the law. Adyantavanta kaunteya. Nateshu ramate buddha. Nateshu ramate buddha. Because they have understood these two. What are these two? It is diminishing, it is fleeting. It is fleeting and diminishing. This is the sadhana. This is the sadhana. In this verse, we find the sadhana. What is the sadhana? Recognizing that it is diminishing and recognizing that it is fleeting. Enormous time and effort is spent to get neutralized is the pain of life. Enormous time and effort and acquisition and everything is done in life only to get neutralized. At the end of it is the pain of life, the sorrow of life. Therefore, it is not the world that gives sorrow or pain, because the nature of the world is diminishing and fleeting. And the fleeting and diminishing arrival, departure, board and all stories. We gave so many stories for all that. It is fleeting. And then it is diminishing. Diminishing we can understand to some extent, but the fleeting nature is what we are not able to digest. Even diminishing to some extent we can understand. That's why a relatively disciplined person will find some happiness in contacts, but he collapses when the object leaves. That's why a person who is a relatively disciplined person will not get neutralized that fast. But that person is also not a healthy human being. Why? Because when it is lost, he is finished. By some kind of people who maintain this little bit of worldly disciplines and all that, they say, yeah, correct, sir. We are, oh, I didn't even know. Without knowing, I am practicing Vedanta, sir. They say, no. I didn't even know that I was following Vedanta, sir. After coming to class only, I realized that I was following it even without knowing it. It's like saying I'm a Shankaracharya even before I became a Shankaracharya. How does it work? That little bit of discipline here and there, maintain some, you can get little bit of freedom from neutralization, little bit here and there. But fleeting, you will be devastated when you recognize the fleeting nature, you will be devastated. One of the important verses that gives a sadhana, where we quote this very often. We quote the word dukkha yonayaha very often. Wombs of sorrow. We keep quoting this very often. Lastly, womb means covering. You don't know what is inside. It's covered. Womb means, why he is calling it as wombs of sorrow? Womb means a covering. Please understand, in those days where they don't go for CT scan and all, yeah, they're using the word wombs. You know that the lady is carrying the child. You do not know whether it is male or female. It's you know it is there, but it is completely covered. You know it is there, but covered. That's called a womb. Dukkha yonaya, the wombs of sorrow. Budeshu nateshu ramate buddha. Sorry. Nateshu ramate buddha. அதை படிக்கும்போது புதேஷு நதே ரமத் அப்படி படிக்கணும். மாத்தி படிக்கும்போது போய்ட்ரியில் அப்படி வரும். A wise person is one who is not carried away by the world. The wise person is one who is not carried away by the world. Wombs in plural means again and again. Punaha api, punaha api. Again and again. Punarapi, punarapi. In plural. Rama tells this in Vasishta. Yoga Vasishta, Rama tells how many times to enter the womb, how many times to enter the body, and how many times to leave the body. How many times to enter the womb and how many times to leave the womb. How many times to call somebody as father. How many times to call somebody as mother. How many times to call somebody as my children. How many times I am going to keep doing that. How many times I am going to do that. How many times I am going to do that. Ramate Buddha. This person is a wise person. This person who has done this is a wise person. Nateshu Ramate. He does not rejoice in them. He does not revel in them. He does not get carried away. So, verse number 22. Yehi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkhayonaya evate adhyantavanta kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Yeah. So meaningful and so musical it is. Adhyantavanta. Adi antavanta. Adhyantavanta kaunteya. Adhyantavanta kaunteya. Nateshu ramate buddha. With this, we conclude verse number 22. We continue with verse number 23 onwards in the next session. No questions, I think. So, with this, we Adhyantavantaha, let go of it, Abdinale, no question will. What is there to? Yeah.
Now there is a question.
We conclude the session for today.
Now there is a question. Now there is a question.
Now there is a question. Why Jayanti? How to discover Purnatvam? The way to recognize the Purnatvam. The way to recognize the Purnatvam happens in 2 stages. The way to recognize Purnatvam happens in 2 stages. Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. If you are of the active type, you have to do karma yoga. If you are of the introvert type, you need to do Jnana yogena sankhyanam. Verse number 3, chapter 3 is the formula. Verse number 3, chapter 3 is the formula for Purnatvam. To recognize Purnatvam. Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. Pura prokta mayanaga. This is said by the ancients, have said it very clearly. The ancients means the Vedas, the Upanishads, because they are the ancients. The ancients have said it very clearly. The Upanishads have said it very clearly. What? The 2 things. What are the 2 things? Jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yoginam. If you are an active type, karma yoga. If you are an introverted type, extroverted type, karma yoga. Introverted type, jnana yoga. And what is the way to discover Purnatvam? Week after week after week, you have to keep coming for the classes, listening, Shravana. Do do lot of manana, support it with karma yoga, you will recognize your purnatvam. You will recognize your purnatvam. You will be aware of it. With this, we conclude for today. Next class, we continue with verse number 23 onwards.